get upgrade Y.
You got to have your spaces in between there, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. So sudo space apt hyphen get space update. And I'm going to copy it into the chat too.
Okay.
So if you just want to copy it out of there and there.
Yeah. It's good to type.
All right. Oops, I hit the wrong enter. So I hit enter on there, but it's in there. So it's going to do its thing. It's going to run. Mine's good. I just did it like half an hour ago. Just double check.
Okay, and then what's that? It's upgrade. Okay.
Yeah. Sudo space apt hyphen get space update space 2% space sudo space apt hyphen get space upgrade space hyphen Y.
Got it. I just updated mine last night, and it's
well, so it might not be. So what it does is it goes out and checks. And it downloads like some of the packages, which is like you can if you can see here, there's 15
I got it's
KB.
doing exactly what yours is doing. Looks like
and that's okay. This just takes a couple minutes. It's just checking to make sure it's updated.
I wonder if that update came out. Must have come out today, maybe.
I don't.
Because like I said, I did updates last night and it was up to date.
Well, it's not updated. Mine's not updating. It's just downloading packages to make sure it's updated.
Okay.
No, so it's going to run through this and it's going to be done. It just takes like a minute to check. So while that's doing that, the next step that we're actually going to do is install the PiHole itself. I know, right? We're already there. Nothing special. So when I did this a few months ago, there was an extra step that I did that involved downloading a folder, unzipping it, installing the package that was in that folder. As of the latest release of Raspbian, you do not have to do that anymore. So if it's up to date, then we don't need to. That step can be skipped. So that's why I'm checking that we're all.
Well, hey, John. So everybody, if depending on who's running what, like you're running the Pi 0, and so is Mark, and I'm running Pi 2. I'm not sure what did you say you were doing, Glenn? Pi 3 or
3B, right? 3B.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'm not sure what Harry's running.
No, yeah. So everybody should have.
Pi 2. I'm having problems with the command. It's not accepting the ampersand.
Oh, and you're like when you're trying to input it from your keyboard.
Yeah. Did you put 2?
Did you put 2 of the ampersands, Harry?
It's not taking any of them. I'm hitting the ampersand and nothing's happening.
On your, like, it's not taking the input from the keyboard.
Correct.
That's weird.
That's what I thought too, when it wouldn't.
Harry, are you able to copy and paste it from the chat into the terminal? Oh, why you wouldn't be able to because you're not running that on Zoom. You can't run Zoom on Pi, yeah.
Yeah.
Harry,
How about the on-screen keyboard?
That might work.
No, I'm using an external keyboard.
If he was to copy both commands in independently and see what happens.
Harry, are you able to get to your email from the Pi?
I never set it up.
But you're on Yahoo, aren't you?
For my email, yeah.
Well, you could go into yahoo.com and go in to the webmail and get it. If you want, you could try that.
Yeah, because I was going to copy and paste it and send the command to you.
That's how my brother does it when he's doing it on his one computer. I'm going to the Yahoo site now to see. If you go to yahoo.com and then go there up in the upper right hand corner, there's a thing that says mail, and then it just asks you to sign in with your Yahoo credentials.
Okay,
Mark,
to get out of it, I hit enter, and now it's doing stuff.
Maybe
It's,
it just did, maybe, I'm wondering if it just didn't show up but it really put the ampersands there, but they just didn't show up on the screen.
I don't know what,
What is it? Is it like a bunch of text flying by?
sorry, I was talking and I was still muted.
You can unmute.
I unmuted totally now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, yeah, you can stay unmuted. That's not a problem.
All that I showed on the screen when I hit enter, since it wouldn't take an ampersand, is the sudo apt-get update. And
Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's all you, that's really all you need.
okay, well, it went out there and it has a hit 1, hit 2, and hit 3. And
Yeah,
it says it fetched 11.7 megabytes and reading package listed, it's done, and now I don't know what to do with it.
Where's your
It-
cursor?
What does that last line say, Harry? Does it say zero newly installed, 0 not updated, or 0 not updated?
Which line are you referring to, the last one?
It should be the very last line that before the local command line starts.
It says reading package list, 3 dots and done.
Oh, his might still be looking.
The command prompt came up though.
Is it the Pi at Raspberry Pi with the blue $sign?
Yeah,
It might be done, John.
Oh, well, if it's already there, then it's probably done.
Because mine came back to the
Is there
green.
is there
Go ahead.
any red text?
no,
Okay. All right, we'll take that as a positive then.
I think that's good. I think he's good.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I'm
Well,
going
it's
to take that as a
worth-
positive.
I was reading some things and I think I installed it already. I can't find it, but I think I installed it.
Okay, well, even if
PiHole.
well, if you did already install it, it won't. Oh, it might install over it. Do you know your Raspberry Pi's IP address? Because you can type that into the browser and you can go to it and see if it's running.
I was given an IP address to use for the PC. Let me launch a browser here.
Yeah.
Half the problem with this is that I don't use this thing, so I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Okay.
So, oops, I'm using the wrong mouse. Oh,
IP.
Well, it would really help if I was using the right keyboard. I was just putting in the address on my PC.
Yeah, that's the problem. I've got 2 keyboards and mice here too. So
Okay, it looks like none of my number line is working on this keyboard.
that might be a problem.
Yeah, well, I gotta figure out if it's a wireless keyboard, and I don't know if I have to. Well,
you have
Um, But
you have a
actually,
wired one.
well, it's
might be-
strange. It takes 191, but it won't take 192.
Do you have a wired one you could plug in?
You'll have to give me a while. I'll have to get down to the basement and find one. I'll be back.
Okay,
All right,
that might
That's all right.
might be better to.
that's
maybe-
okay. That's okay. We knew we were going to run into issues. That's not a
Yeah,
problem.
maybe the wireless one is throwing fits.
you may not have selected the right mode either with the keyboard.
Yeah, because when you're setting it up, you have to tell it what language and whatnot.
Yeah, you want a US keyboard.
Right. Yeah, and if he didn't do that, that might screw up
Could be anything.
he may have to just watch.
Well, it's being recorded, so
Yeah, right.
as long as so the first command is really the update command. The second one is an upgrade in case it downloads. Like if it's so like right now I'm running Debbie and Buster. If it was the download, if I was on the one before Buster and it downloaded the new one, that's what the upgrade command does. It would take it from that one. So really
Now-
the update command is what matters.
So I'm back to the command prompt that says Pi at Raspberry Pi with a $sign. Is that, am I to assume that everything's upgraded?
Yeah, you're good. If nobody's sitting here for like the next hour and a half waiting for an upgrade, then we're okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, I didn't get any red flags or anything, everything.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
And I downloaded last night, upgraded here, and I downloaded just before we started here, and I got 7 updates.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Glenn. When I went to bed last night, it was all up to date. So I was really surprised that it was actually going out there and
So
that kills my
share every time I do that. If I kill the share on my phone, somebody has to yell at me because I didn't know it wasn't sharing.
Oh, okay. Wonder why it's doing that.
I don't know. There.
Well, these live demos, you can never, that's gonna happen.
We should use Jitsi.
No Jitsi.
I used that and I had trouble getting everything to work again. I'm running Linux here now.
Yeah, we tried using, well, we did a couple of test calls with Jitsi Meet and we had some issues. So we decided to stay with Zoom.
Jitsi Meet or Jitsi?
Well, it was called Jitsi Meet, what we were using.
Okay.
I mean, I think it might be the same. I think we might be talking about the same thing.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
I typed in my IP address I wrote down, and I got a screen that says, PiHole, your black hole for internet advertisements. Do you mean to go to the admin panel?
You already have it installed, Harry.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
so
Harry's gonna finish the rest of this presentation.
So you already installed PiHole.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing this for.
Well, there was a thing I was reading and it said to see if your system was up to date, run this, and I ran it and it installed it while I was running it. So I was supposed to check to see if I was compatible.
We supposed to be following you, John?
I was just getting it pre-typed in there, but that's going to be the next step is, and I'm about ready to hit enter in the chat there. So the next command that we're entering is curl, CURL, space, hyphen, S, capital SL, and then that space, that address, HTTPS.
Is that a small, after the dash, is that a small S?
Yeah, here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So dash. Yes.
that's the one on the PiHole website.
Is that the one that you used to upgrade, Harry?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you installed it. So that's okay. When we'll get to the DNS part, because maybe you didn't do that part yet.
Did not do that part, no.
Okay.
All right, how long is it going to take once you hit the enter for this command?
A couple minutes, depending on what. Oh, wait. No, that's okay. Sorry, I saw red and freaked out for a second.
Hey, John, I thought we weren't going to use the command line for this.
So it's actually easier if you're just doing a Pi. It's easier to use the command line. If you're doing this on a different like Ubuntu or one of the other supported ones, you have to download the package and unzip it. But
Okay.
with the Raspberry Pi, as of the latest release of Raspberry Pi Buster, you do not you can just use the command line.
Hey, what's that? The last part there, is that a // and then a space, then bash?
No, it's one of those upper bar, straight bars.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
a pipe. It's a pipe.
Pipe, yeah.
Oops.
What is it?
It's a pipe.
Pipe.
It's a shifted backslash.
Shifted. Oh.
Just above the enter key.
Shifted backslash. Oh, okay. Thank you.
John, it's in the chat too, just so you know.
Okay. I didn't look there. Sorry. Thanks. Okay.
Okay,
all right,
so it's
then
gonna
just-
run. Yeah, and then go ahead and hit enter and let it run through its install. It doesn't take very long. Harry, you obviously don't have to do this step. You're good, so you can sit back, kick your legs up. Let it. I think when I did this at the. Okay, there it's done. Never mind. I was gonna say it only took a couple minutes, but there you go.
Mine come up to that also.
It did or didn't?
It did.
Okay.
Mine is going to be really slow. I'm on a really slow internet connection.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries. Oh, so Mark, you're not going to be able to do the DNS setting right now.
No, and that's why I'm glad you're recording this.
Yeah, unless you're setting it up for the moose or the eagle. Did you say it was?
No. No, I'm not setting up crap for anybody until they pay me.
Right.
Okay, so I'm at the screen you're at, John. Just wait then.
Yeah, wait till Mark gets here with
Yeah.
us. I don't want to.
Okay. Right. I got it. Yeah.
No biggie.
We're good.
I got some good beer. I'm drinking this Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
This Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale. This is my favorite.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good
Nice.
stuff.
It's a session sour. It's got like black limes and stuff in it. It's really good.
Yep. I've had that. It's good.
Can you guys hear the bad karaoke in the background?
Not really.
Barely.
Yeah. Barely.
All right, I'll mute.
No, you're fine.
Oh, it's fine. It's not bothering us at all.
Does anybody hear my air conditioner running in the background?
No,
No.
Okay.
Can you hear mine?
No.
I have
no.
mine on. It's one of those wall units.
Although I have one sitting about arm's reach from me, and it's one of those ones that you put the hose up out to the window, and it's like the inside unit, and it sits on like the floor.
Yeah.
But I'm touching it right now. How about those Pirates?
Yeah, they beat your Indians,
I know.
but they were losing. Indians were winning today. So I think it should be over by now. It was 2-0.
I didn't even watch the game. I was watching maybe Glenn can speak to this. I was watching the Blue Jays Orioles game.
Oh, okay. Hey, John, Mark said he's coming to the 24th no matter what. So,
Okay.
and I think we got one.
Yeah, we got that little, it's a little like that place that we're going first. Maybe John Jerry talk about that.
Yeah, I told Mark about
Okay.
it. Well, Mark's into the retro stuff too. So.
Oh, no. I just meant it's not like we're not going to be there for 6 hours or
No,
anything.
because that lasts from that opens up at 12 and it's 12 to 7. We're not going to be there. We'll be there maybe a couple hours tops.
Yeah, I just didn't want anybody to think that we were going to go there and be there all day.
No.
I think we were there for maybe 2 hours the last time.
We did one pass around, then we did a second pass, and then we left.
Cool.
So I'm
I got a
I'm
shopping
really-
one.
I'm really
Unless
interested in what's that? What's John?
Unless it's like really, really good, because you said they said it's going to be bigger and better than 2019. So
Well, no, they said it's going to be bigger and better than 2020, which isn't hard because they did it virtually. So
oh, is that what they meant?
I think that's what they meant.
I thought they were referencing 2019.
They may have been, but I was just thinking in my head, I was like, well, if you're trying to do better than last year, that's not that hard because you guys did it online.
Oh, so they had it virtually then.
Yeah, they had it virtually last year.
That would have stunk.
Yeah, I don't know how you really do that.
How do you the whole fun of it is going around to the vendors and seeing what they have. And
Well, I'm interested in seeing how they do it this year because if you remember last year, we were all ass to ass
right, exactly.
in there, and that's definitely not going to be happening.
is it gonna be the same place, does it say?
It's the same place.
Same location, wow.
But you remember we stood in that line that was
I
over
know.
in the soccer court. So I would imagine they probably took that divider down and they're going to use the whole. Probably everybody will wait outside
Yeah,
and then we'll use the inside,
Right.
the whole inside.
so we don't really have to go that as early as we normally do when we leave Pittsburgh because.
Right. Yeah, because you're going there
that's open
first.
till 12, yeah, we're going there first,
Yeah, you can pretty much leave at like 9:30
right?
because you have to factor in that Mike's going to have to stop and piss 500 times.
Remember
Mike.
this is being recorded.
That's fine. He knows he stops and pisses 500 times. He knows what I'm talking about.
All right.
Up our way here, they're having they used to have the Rib Fest in Ajax. Now they're having a drive-through Rib Fest.
Drive-through Rib Fest. Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Drive
can't.
Drive through and get it and go home and eat it.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, I'm gonna get everything I can. I'm gonna have like a trunk full, but when I came back from the beach last weekend, we went to like Rehoboth and that in Delaware. And when we were coming back, there was a brewery I wanted to stop at a little bit north of Baltimore in Havre de Grace, Maryland. It was called Hopkins Farm. And we came back on a Sunday and I stopped there and there were 9,000 cars and this brewery's on a farm and there were all these cars and they had some kind of like country music folk festival thing going on. There's people all over the place. They had all kinds of barbecue and seafood and stuff. And I just wanted a beer and a t-shirt, but we ended up staying for I think an hour and a half listening to music and that, but that was awesome.
Wow.
And it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere too. And there was PA license plates. I saw a couple and that. So people were driving down, coming to this event.
Yeah. Hey, John, quick question. If I want to hook my Pi, I'm going to do it, through Ethernet. Is that the recommended way to do it?
So the first one that I set up and this one obviously are both wireless.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just make sure, the only thing to make sure is when you hook this, do you have it hooked up right now that same way?
I have it hooked to the Ethernet right now. Yeah.
Okay. Because your IP address might change.
Okay.
So when we get through this installer, it's going to set a static IP address based on whatever connection you're using now. Just make sure that if you go from wireless to Ethernet or vice versa, that the IP address hasn't changed.
Well, here's
So it won't work.
Here's what I was going to do. Like I'm up on the 3rd floor now, but my plan is to move this Pi down to right next to my router.
Mhm.
But I have the question that I wanted to ask was, can I hook this into a hub coming off my router?
Why?
I have a 10-port hub that I have one line going to the router.
I mean, you can, and you don't need to.
But I mean, because I wanted to, I don't have any other ports available on the router. So I'm just asking, can I hook it into the hub and it would work the same way?
Just run ifconfig in the terminal to make sure that the IP address, the device IP address is still the same as what we set as the static IP address.
Okay. And then if it changes, then
you'll have to go back into your router and change the DNS address that we are going to change.
Okay. Got it. Or maybe I'll just, no.
It's not going to break your internet, but it's not going to work. The
It's not
PiHole
going
is
to
not gonna
work.
work.
Right. I got
Your internet will be fine because if your internet can't find, what's up?
I have mine on my gateway. I have a Cat 5 coming out and I go to a switch and I have the Raspberry Pi plugged into the switch.
Okay.
Oh,
which
so,
also has
okay.
everything else plugged into it that I'm running that's not wireless.
Okay. So you're pretty much doing what I want to do.
Yeah. That's fine. It all works the same. Just make sure that the static IP address that we have set for the device doesn't somehow get changed when it shouldn't. I don't want to say for sure though that it won't, but it shouldn't.
Shouldn't. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Now it's stopped. Oh, there you go.
It was going to sleep.
Is that what it was doing? Okay. Got it.
Guys, I'm still stuck at updating the local cache for available packages. So you guys just go on. I'll just sit here and watch.
You sure?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So it's actually not that many more steps anyways. The DNS one, I think, is what's going to take time for anybody who's at home and is able to get to their router to do the DNS setting. And I'm not going to be able to show you specifically how that works because everybody's router is different. So when we get to that, I'm going to like kind of say, hey, here's 10 or 15 minutes, go log into your router and find the DNS settings. But anyways, I'm going to hit OK on this here. Just says the installer will transform your device into a network-wide ad blocker. Free and powered by donations. So the address if you want to go donate. Let me.
Got it.
So it's
going
gonna
to start changing the DNS. Is that going to mess up my wife's streaming TV out there?
You do have to restart the router, but you don't have to do it right now. You can do this later.
Okay, because
Yeah, but
I'm watching
it's
something right now. So if I
yeah. So
hear about it.
yeah, at some point you're gonna have to restart it. But just so everybody knows, adding this to your router as changing the domain name service DNS does not affect internet speed. It's not going to mess with anything that you already have connected to your network or anything that you connect in the future. This is a service that runs in the background on the router that filters like the ad tracking and your host name lookups and stuff like that. So like right now, normally most routers configured they're going to like Google or something like that for DNS.
Right.
So all this is going to do is reroute that from Google or whatever it might already be going to your Raspberry Pi. And it's a very minuscule amount of bandwidth that you will never notice. It's not affecting your speed or anything like that. So no worries about this, setting this up or anything. And it's not even in line with your router technically. So when we make requests, like going to a website, it sends request packets from our computer to our router out to the web server, then to the website. So what this is doing, instead of filtering that off to Google or wherever it's pulling that advertising or that tracking stuff from, it's rerouting that tiny little bit of that request through your PiHole and blocking that. So
Got it.
cool. Just wanted to explain that.
Hey, John, question for you.
Yep.
So this is going to be, this affects my whole network, right?
Correct.
No.
Now, correct. Yep.
Okay, so if my wife remotes in from her computer at home into UPMC to do certain things, is that
I
won't
do.
affect?
I work for UPMC as well.
I know. I'm just asking, that won't affect her logging in remotely
No.
from home?
Nope.
Okay,
It's not the same traffic.
okay.
This is
Just want to make sure, because she'll be like screaming at me, like, this is something
No.
I can't get into my.
You're not even going to know it's on there. Many people have already done the testing, but I did my own testing myself when I had originally done this a few months back on my home network. There's no speed difference. The only thing that changes is the DNS traffic, which is, like I said, it's microscopic. It's not anything that we can even really measure.
Okay. Just checking.
And even if for some reason your Pi goes down or something happens, it's not going to break your internet. It's just going to revert back to the original DNS, which is Google or Cloudflare or whatever it goes to. It's going to revert to that. So you can unplug the Pi and walk away with it, and it's not going to affect your internet at all. Plug it back in. You're not going to have any hiccups or anything, because that's not what the traffic that this
So,
device handles.
Does
So
PiHole
quite-
automatically start when the Pi starts?
What was that?
Does the PiHole program automatically start when you start the Pi?
It does.
It unplugs. There's nothing you have to do to turn it back on, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
it audit.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like if you lost your power or something and then you plug it back in, does it all come back automatically?
It does. Yep. All boots up with the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so this next step, we're going to set a static IP address on the Raspberry Pi device itself. So I'm just going to hit OK through the screen, and it's going to bring this up. So this is selecting an upstream DNS provider, and I'd mentioned Google, and when I was talking about that, that's a downstream. So you can select any of these here that you want. I've read most people pick Cloudflare. Some people pick Google. This is just upstream. This isn't downstream. So this isn't going to be ads or tracking. All this is using is an upstream connection to the DNS for that.
So which do you recommend? Which do you recommend?
I'm gonna do Cloudflare. I have never had an issue with Cloudflare. In most articles and other things that I've seen, people use Cloudflare for this. And Cloudflare's DNS is 1.1.1.1. For anyone interested, I don't know what the other ones are. I saw before a couple people use Komodo, which make an antivirus, and that I don't know a whole lot about their DNS servers, but I'm just gonna pick Cloudflare for this.
Okay,
What if
so
you don't remember which one you picked when you hit that step?
Yes. Yeah. Now, if for some reason you need to change this, I believe these settings are actually in the final web client that you're able to get to. You can go into the settings and change this, and you can enter your own custom DNS too. If you have your own DNS server, I don't know anybody that has their own DNS server, but if you do, you can do that too. But I'm going to pick Cloudflare just for this.
okay.
That's what I had picked in my prior installation a few months ago as well on my home network in Cleveland. So
Any difference as to where you live?
it shouldn't, no.
It's just a DNS you're looking at, so you could use that anywhere in the world, really.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, the DNS servers are pretty universal. Cloudflare, as Google is worldwide. Cloudflare does a lot of the DDoS protection for websites and spam protection and stuff like that. So they're pretty reputable as far as this goes. And you can use Google. Like I said, it's just the upstream. The downstream one is the one that we're going to be running through the Raspberry Pi. This is just the initial talking connection out to the DNS server. So this next page here is the ad list that's already included on here. And Stephen Black is one of the developers of PiHole, not the Raspberry Pi, of PiHole. And this is his unified host list that has all his, and it's updated frequently. You'll see it updates like once a week or something like that. But this is the list. Later on, you can go into the settings and add your own lists. And I actually have a document that I'm going to share that has some blocking lists for things like social media, porn sites, whatever you want to block, and you can add things. You can add things manually yourself as well. So now I know. It depends on what you really want to block. I know some people are like really anti-social media, and I totally understand that. That's a privacy concern. Some people are, want control over ads. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I have in the past, not recently, because with the advent of universal ad blockers, now you don't see this stuff anymore. But I know people that have seen adult ads on websites because obviously they visited them in the past and they were tracked and they were showing up in places like on foxnews.com or CNN or whatever. And so you can custom block those, but I believe a lot of these are already included in this initial one. And you can go in and look at that list later on too. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter for okay on this.
Okay.
And everyone, 99% of people are going to just use IPv4 here.
Okay.
So ignore IPv6 right now. Just hit IPv4. So here is what you're going to want to document, whether you take a picture of it or write it down. Just make sure you don't lose this. This IP address right here is the IP address that's static for this device. So mine's 10.0.0.143 on port 24.
Hey, John, is the IPv4, is that the default?
That is the default, and that's the one that 99% of people should choose. The only individuals that are choosing IPv6 are enterprise that might be setting this up as a self-host.
Okay.
Well,
But when we first went to that screen where it said select protocol, it had a red highlight on the IPv4 with an asterisk in that inside the brackets.
yeah, I think that was just to choose it.
Okay. But
Just hit
then, do you just hit enter from there? You don't go down to okay.
Just hit enter. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because it was selected. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So then-
A question I've got on my DHCP server 10 to 100. My IP address come up here 192.168.299/24.
So you're saying it's outside of your,
No, it's
It's out-
inside the DHCP.
okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, mine's saying 192.168.1.242/24.
Yeah.
So,
And I didn't take a picture of that screen.
But if you open the terminal, Harry, and type in IF config, it'll show you under whatever connection, either ETH or WLAN, what your IP address is, and that will be the static one for your device.
Again, open terminal.
Yeah. I actually opened that. I'm going to open terminal. Type open terminal, and then it's IF config, like this.
Space or just IF config? One more.
IF config, no space. So just for instance, like I'm connected wirelessly right now. So right here is, you can see 10.0.0.143, which is what it picked up. So
All right.
Is that the in that? Okay.
okay, everybody golden on that one.
yeah, so then it says, here's your current network settings, and then just hit yes, or
Yeah, hit yes. I should probably write this down too now that I'm thinking about it.
so are you have Comcast, right?
Where I'm at right now is Xfinity Comcast. Yes.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately will not be able to show you that DNS setting changed, but we can still talk about it, and everybody else can get into their routers and do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna hit yes there. No, IP conflict. That's fine because we're setting a static address. It's just saying if you already have a static address with this IP address set for another device, it could conflict. I don't normally set static addresses for anything like devices unless it's something like this or like a server or a firewall or something like that. So I don't think anybody, I mean, I don't want to say that for certain, but I would say you're probably pretty safe that this is not an already used IP address. All right. So this is the hardware address that pops up for this device. Don't worry about that. It's just saying that this device is going to be used to block ads.
Ooh, I didn't get that. I got, do you wish to install the web admin interface?
Yes. So you must hit enter twice accidentally.
Maybe I hit it twice. Was that did I need to write that down or none of that?
No, don't worry about that. That was just the hardware address for the device. So obviously we're going to hit yes here.
Okay. Just hit.
Require PH. Yep. Just keep hitting yes because that's just recommended. Yes. Do you want the log queries? I'm going to leave yes on for this. That's up to you whether you want to keep logs. I'd say if for some reason down the road you ever needed support, you could get to these logs and upload them to the community forum for people to look at. But I mean, they self-delete after like 30 days and they just keep like a rolling update of them. So it doesn't hurt anything.
Okay. So leave it recommended on.
Yeah. So this next one is select a privacy mode. So this is the privacy mode for your web admin portal. I leave it on show everything because nobody else is looking at this aside from myself. Nobody else can get to this from outside of your network. This is an internal device. There's just about zero chance that anyone will get into this unless somehow they can backtrack through DNS and break in. But I'm not aware. That's not a normal attack vector for anybody ever, because there's much easier methods than that. So I leave it as show everything. The only thing it's going to show is the DNS addresses that you're connecting to. So Cloudflare, and it's going to show you the web addresses that are being blocked. So it's not showing any of your internal IP addresses or anything like that. So
Okay.
I left it on show everything. It's up to you. I just
Okay.
like if you do change this, you won't be seeing everything in the web portal though. So just keep that in mind. I'm just leaving it at show everything. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Can you go back through this and change it?
You can in the web portal settings. Yep.
Oh, all right.
All right. It's going to run through this clone. It's going to set up the web portal here. That's what it's doing right now. Let me get that a little bit better.
And you said these won't take effect until you restart.
So yeah, so your route it's okay right now. So right now it's all set up and the static IP address is already set for your device on the device, but we need to add that IP address into the DNS settings on your router. Now for that to take effect, you'll have to save it and restart your router. And once you do that, that's when it will start feeding your DNS traffic through the PiHole.
So wait, is that all we have to do is restart the router, or do we have to change it then restart it?
You have to change the DNS setting in the router first. Yeah.
So we have to give it the IP address that we wrote down.
Yep.
And put that in as the DNS server.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that here in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Because we're coming up on that pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah, it's scrolling through a bunch of text on the
So
screen.
we're installing more software, aren't we?
It's the web portal.
Yeah, okay. PHP, SQLite. Yeah, I had the camera running on this before, and I had light HTTPD set up for viewing the camera.
I actually think this web admin portal takes longer to install than the actual PiHole service. But it's a pretty sleek web portal. It's not real clunky or anything. It's easy to use. It's all up front. And there's some good documentation too, because obviously we're not going to cover
So
that.
this is being installed on the Pi, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So this is what you'll use to. Got it.
I downloaded this. I downloaded this script and had a bit of a look at it, but it's a big script.
What was it?
I downloaded the script,
The script.
the install script.
You're saying for the web portal.
Yeah, for installing this, I downloaded the install script and read through a lot of it, but it's a big script.
Okay. Got it.
That's why
I
it's
gotcha.
taken so long to install.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're getting pretty close to the end, to be honest.
ARM v7.
I'm getting there.
Retrieval successful. Now I'm back to installation complete.
Oh, you beat me. Yep. So mine's going to run a little bit slower because I'm using the Raspberry Pi Zero.
How much memory?
but
How much memory does that have, John?
I think 512 megabytes.
Oh, okay. I got an installation
I'm still
complete.
sitting on updating local cache.
What was that, Mark?
I'm still sitting on update local cache of available packages.
What kind of internet connection they got over there?
What do you have, a dial-up over there or what?
It's because they're streaming all that music.
Actually, the music isn't streaming. She's got it on her
Oh, she has it
laptop.
all. Okay.
I'm not sure what kind of connection it is, but it is dog slow, man. It's actually slower than the hotspot mode on my phone.
Wow.
But you're recording all this, so I'll get it all when I go home, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward after those initial couple scripts in the terminal.
Yeah, it seems to be. I don't foresee me having a problem. In fact, I know where that DNS server setting is in my router anyway.
Good. I know where it is in my Spectrum router. As far as that goes, I don't know where it is in any other router. So it's going to be up to everybody to play detective here in about 10 minutes.
So we're gonna try to do. I mean, to log into.
Well,
your
I mean,
router.
we don't have to do that right now. Obviously, if you're going to do that, if you restart your router, it's going to kick you off the Zoom meeting.
Right. Yeah.
But
I think everybody should do that afterwards.
yeah, that's fine. I was just well, I guess really everybody here's got a different router, so it doesn't matter anyways. I was thinking if everybody had close to the same router, but never mind. Everybody has got a different one.
Yeah, because then the logins are different and
But it's gonna be in one of two places. There's gonna be some kind of network settings on your router, and it's either gonna be a specific network setting that says DNS, or you might have to look under your DHCP settings and to find it in there.
yeah.
But it's gonna be somewhere in that cluster.
Now, hey, John, do you know how normally when you go in there, it has two servers? Does it? You just have to set up the one, right?
Yeah, so I did want to touch on that real quick. So when you go in there to change your DNS setting, you're specifically going to be changing you're going to see the DNS address, and then you're going to see secondary
right.
DNS address. And for most people, that's probably going to be 1111. The first one is the one you change. Only change the first one to the IP address that we just set as static. Do not change the second one.
Should we get rid of the secondary or no?
No, you can just leave it.
Yeah,
That's the backup DNS.
I've got two DNSs on mine, so you only
Yeah.
change the first one?
Yep, only change the first one. You can just ignore the secondary one.
All right.
You may also, when you go to edit the DNS address, you may have to switch it from automatic to manual.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, John, leaving that secondary one would be in a situation where if you pulled the PiHole or pulled the Pi out of the network, then it'll know to go to that secondary.
So kind of, I mean, no matter what happens, your internet's still going to function without DNS.
Okay.
Even if you wiped everything out of there and just put everything 0000 and saved it and came back in, your internet's still going to function. You're just going to, you're going to see, like, if you remember back in the day using Internet Explorer, when something couldn't load, there was always a little box with the red X. You're going to see stuff. You're going to see stuff like that, where it's not able to pull that. But I mean, many of us already have ad blockers running and that in our browsers, so you may not even notice. This is like a secondary level of protection, that kind of it encompasses more than just browsers, because now all of your internet traffic, whether that be from mobile devices, smart devices, Internet of Things, IoT, that's all going to be running through this DNS now. But I do want to point out one thing, though. And this is something that other people I read online were kind of like ticked off about. When you go to YouTube and you watch YouTube videos, if you're watching them on a TV or something that does not have a built-in ad blocker, you're still going to see YouTube ads. And the reason for that is because YouTube has those ads baked into the video. Those aren't being pulled down onto your network. Those are already baked into the YouTube videos. So you will need an ad blocker on that specific device to get rid of those. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But like on a TV, can you add an ad blocker on the TV?
I don't think there's really any real good effective ones. I mean, I know I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like on my Roku, I have like a thing, but it's not it. YouTube has found a way that they pre-bake those ads into the videos to where you really, if you the web browser ad blockers are really good and they're able to circumvent them, but on devices like televisions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
there aren't really any good, for whatever reason, ad blockers for those yet. To stop that. So you're still stuck with that, unfortunately, on the TVs and that, because that's not traffic coming down to your through your DNS for tracking. That's actually stuff that YouTube already has built in to their videos. So unfortunate, but that's Google, that's ABC for you. So
Yeah.
All right, so we're here at the installation complete screen. Also take note of this because it shows you your web interface, which let me turn a little bit here.
I wrote all that down, including your password.
That's fine. You can't get to it anyways.
I know. I'm just kidding.
His password.
Yeah, it's fine. You can't get to mine anyways, and I change it. So this, you can use either one of these to get to your
System.
web interface. Now, if you have an app on your phone, and there are apps available for both iOS and Android for PiHole, I have one on my phone that you'll enter in this IP address, and then you can look on your phone and you'll see the same thing that you'll see in the web admin page if you were to visit it from a browser.
Okay.
So I need to write down.
Do you know what the name of the apps are, or
I'll look. I don't know off the top of my head. I'll give you the one that I use on iOS.
I should just search PiHole, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you which one I use here when we get there. I'm writing this admin password down so I can actually get in. Okay. I'm gonna hit OK. 43.
Hit okay on this one?
Yep. All right, that's it.
Installation complete.
Installation complete.
That was just for the web interface though, right?
That's the entire PiHole setup.
Oh, that was the whole thing. Oh,
Yep.
wow. Okay.
So let me back out of my Zoom here a little bit. Sorry about that camera right there. Let me just
Yeah, no problem. So
shut that
now
off.
we're back at our
So can we-
regular prompt. So
Can we
actually-
close the terminal then?
Yep, you can close the terminal.
Okay.
That wasn't much.
It's not. It's really not. And at this point, you can actually log into that web interface as long as you're still on your home network. So I'm pulling up another laptop here in my hands. I'm just gonna test.
Can we do it from the Pi, or do we need to do it from a different?
You can do it. You can do it from the Pi. I'm just do it from a different device, just to be sure as well.
Okay, do it from a different one. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Since I'm not installing this from my home network, do I need to reinstall it when I get
Oh, that's
home?
right, because it's going to pick up a different IP address.
Well, I'm going to look at it as good practice.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, Mark. Shit.
Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I
So
like doing this kind of crap anyway.
when you get home, just rerun the installation. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
It'll pick up another static IP address, but just so everyone can see, you might not be able to because of my background, but that's not going to work. Let me log into Zoom actually on here and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing. Maybe everybody sees the same thing already.
Yeah, I'm logged in, no problem.
Good, cool. All right, so you see the web interface then. So I'm going to stop sharing from my phone here.
So how am I getting to the web interface?
So you're going to type in your IP address, the static one. So mine was 10.0.0.143.
Oh,
You
just
type in
type-
whatever yours was.
So that's what you get. You type in the IP address to get to the. Okay. I thought you did something else.
What was yours, John?
Mine's 10.0.0.143, but yours is going to be different.
Unfortunately, as I said, I didn't write that one down.
Oh, that's right. So when you went to the terminal and you typed in ifconfig, what IP address did it get you? Enter that in.
Okay, the
Okay,
IP address at the very, very top of the screen. Because that's, you highlighted one on yours that was way down on the list.
Yeah, give me one. Like, are you connected wirelessly or through Ethernet, Harry?
Ethernet.
Okay, so when you ran ifconfig, do you see something that says like EFZ or ETH0?
EHD0, yeah.
So there should be right underneath that first line, it'll say iNet.
I'm looking for what is 0 you're talking about.
What does yours say under ifconfig? Do you have LO? Let me.
I have an MTU 1500 at the end of a line.
I guess you can't because you're on the Pi. I was gonna say share a screen, but never mind. Give me 1 second here.
Hold it a minute.
Oops, typed in the wrong keyboard.
Yeah, I got 3 of them here.
Oh.
I do 99% of my work on an old Droid C2.
Oh. I have a picture of it. I just got to figure out how to get it on the. Okay, theoretically, this is the text copied from the picture.
Okay, you're putting that in the chat. Okay. Let me look at this. So okay, try 196.168.12.197.
That's
Like-
the one I ran that came up with. I was running PiHole.
And it asks you to log into the admin.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
then you-
it says, do you mean to go to the admin panel?
Well, if you can get there, then you'll need to log in. But you didn't take pictures of the password screen, right?
Yes, I did. But
Oh,
I just clicked on the, did you mean to go there? And it took me to something here that looks like an admin screen.
okay. Give me a second here. I'm gonna see.
Yeah, you should see that screen that says total queries in green, queries
Yeah.
blocked.
Yeah, I got that screen now, yeah.
Okay.
No, it just in the address, I just had to put a /admin/ to get to it.
Yeah. So that's the sign. So to make edits to settings and stuff like that, you'll need that to get in to see more information. So.
Recording in progress.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so in order to, so that your login, I mean, your password that you wrote down, when you go to that login tab, I guess that's where you use the password there, right?
Yeah. So, John, can you? I just logged in with a different myself. Can you co-host that one too?
Oh, yeah, yeah, hang on. Let me see here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. All right. So here's what I got, and this is also what probably I'm assuming everybody.
Yeah,
Sees
that's
this.
exactly what I got.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too, right there.
Okay, so right now, obviously everything's going to be 0 because we don't have this tied in with the DNS on the router yet. So it's not picking anything up yet, and it won't until you put in the IP address, whatever yours was, this right here, into the DNS settings on your router.
Question for you, John.
Yeah.
On the IP address, mine was 192.168.1.242 /24. Do I need the /24?
No,
No,
nope.
no, so I don't, that's optional. It won't, okay.
Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. That's just showing you what port it's connecting through. It already knows that.
Okay, so I can eliminate that. Well, when I typed that in to get to the PiHole, I typed in the /24 and it still took me to the, but I just wanted to make sure when I do it in the DNS settings that
Yeah, no, it's not even going to give, it won't even let you put a / in the settings.
okay.
Good.
Excuse me.
Got it.
Did I hear somebody ask a question?
So what do you, okay, you're gonna show it what you typed in your password, so you're gonna show us what's
Yeah, so normally you would just be able to see the dashboard without logging in. So I'm logging in. It's going to automatically put you in as the as the admin account if I enter in the right password.
Okay. So basically that first screen was just you basically seeing what's being blocked and so forth.
Right.
If you want to get a quick overview of.
Uh-oh. Did I write down the password wrong?
Whoops.
That's not good.
I should have written it down like I said I was going to.
You didn't write it. What did you do with it?
I didn't. I was just kind of kidding. I wish I would have.
Yeah, you're going to need that.
No, I meant yours.
Oh.
I have mine.
I think I may have just got the wrong letter here. Let me try something.
How can you tell if you're logged in?
There we go. I wrote my one letter was I put a C and it was supposed to be an E, but it looked like a C when I wrote it.
Glenn had a question.
Yeah, what's up, Glenn?
How do you tell if you're logged in?
What does your side look like this with all the different?
Yes,
Okay, then you're logged in.
all right. I was just
Because normally it would just show dashboard and it would say login and it would say something and then donate.
okay.
It wouldn't give you all these options. So just real quick, I'm not going to go through all these because there's a lot here and there's really good documentation, but I'm just going to kind of show you where everything's at real quick. But up here at the top, you can look at the status of your PiHole and you can access this web admin page from any device on your network.
Okay.
So I'm like right now I'm on a MacBook signed in, connected to this on the network. So I can get to it from my phone. If you put the app on your phone, you'll see this info too. And I'll show that. Well, I won't show that because I have it connected to my one at home. But you can add it to your phone using the IP address that we set statically. So real quick, so you can see it'll show temperature and you can actually go in the settings and change that. So it says Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. If you're in the United States, Canadians, you can leave it as Celsius.
So that's the temperature of the Pi.
That's the temperature of the Pi, yes.
Okay.
And obviously if your Pi has a fan on it or you have it somewhere that it's got extra cooling or whatever, it's going to be lower. The one at my house, I have on the Raspberry 4 and doesn't get very, I've never seen it over like 112 degrees. And that's even, and I have other stuff running on there too. I'm not just running this one application. Now this is going to be a little bit different. I would imagine probably my 0W might get a little bit warmer, but this is made to run on all Raspberry Pis. So I'm not really concerned about that.
You got 44.4 C.
Mine is 51.5.
Wow, you guys are.
Mine's been plugged in about a week though, so.
Oh, that could be. You can see memory usage on there too right now of the 512 megabytes or 1 gig or whatever's on the 0W. It's using 30% of its memory, and that's all that I'm using this Raspberry Pi 0W for. Is only going to be for this application. This is for my family. This isn't my own, so I just set that up for them. These will all populate and they refresh every 24 hours. So you're going to see total queries that you make. It'll show all the DNS queries per client. You're only going to see one client. And the reason for that is that there's only one client giving out DNS requests, and that's your Raspberry Pi. So you might have 40 different devices connected on your network, different laptops, cell phones, smart TVs, whatever it might be. Those are all those DNS requests are being funneled through the Raspberry Pi. So it's only going to show as one client. Does that make sense? I just don't want anybody to come in and freak out and be like, oh, I know I have more things on my network than one thing. It's only going to show one because you only have one Raspberry Pi. Now, if I had like 3 Raspberry Pis set up and I had different devices going through these different Raspberry Pis, then it would show maybe 3 clients or 2 clients or whatever. But we got one. So when you restart your router after changing your DNS setting, it will show 1. It's going to show you the number of queries blocked, and you'll be able to click into all these stats. They're all going to populate down here on the page. And you can click in, you can see what specific DNS names, address names are being blocked. You can see, what the website is, what kind of content's being blocked, and then you're going to see percent blocked. So I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I know the last time I was in Cleveland and I looked at it, something like 29.5% of my DNS. So about 30% of my DNS queries were being blocked. So that's potential DNS traffic that would be looking for information about me to provide advertising or some kind of tracking. So 30% of my DNS request traffic was blocked, which potentially could have been tracking information. So
Nice.
That's pretty good. And you'll see it change and alter. There's different things that you can do. You can look at long-term data. You can make your own charts. You can export this stuff into different files like CSV files or text files or whatever. You can go in here and you can look, this is the generic domain block list. Right now there's 81,000. So there must have been an update to that domain block list because the last time I checked, it was 78,000. So they've added more domains to this block list and it will update, and I'll show you how you can manually update it. So I'm going to give everybody this text document that has a couple domains that you can block for things like Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, TikTok, things like that. And then there's a web address at the bottom of that where you can go to this website and it has even more DNS addresses that you can block if you want to. Now, keep in mind, some of those may already be blocked in this original file, but you can double check that, or you can just add it. It won't break anything to add it again. So to do that, you'll go to the blacklist tab and we'll click in there and it's going to take me here. So you can individually add in a domain name in here. Now, when you do that, I'm just going to use this as an example, but let's say I want to block all DNS requests to or from Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit star. So, shift whatever 8 key, the star symbol. And then I'm going to hit .facebook.com. And what that's going to do is that's telling that little script for that domain address is telling this to block any DNS traffic that is to or from Facebook. Now, that's not going to block the Facebook website, but that will block tracking, and that will block any kind of Facebook advertising as well.
Wow.
So you can do that with any website you want. Just want to, I know I just said this, it's not going to block Facebook.com. Just want to reiterate that this is not a firewall.
Right.
It's not going to block websites. It
Hey,
will
John,
block
do you do it the same way for each website, the star?
Yeah. Now, so this is like one way. That's like an umbrella for blocking that DNS traffic. But the document that I'm going to put in the chat, let me actually just do that right now before I forget. It has a lot of different, I lost it. There it is. So for instance, yeah, so there's different block lists for each one. So like there's a link in here for Facebook block list. It takes you to a GitHub that's going to have a text file. You can actually come in here and upload that text file to this blacklist, or you can copy and paste it. However you want to do it, you can add that in here. I'm going to share this in 1 second after I find the actual file.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
got an error message and it said the Facebook.com was not a valid domain name or something when I hit the add to blacklist.
Try it without the period in front of Facebook. Leave the star, but forget it. Forget the oh yeah, it does give you one.
You have to have the whole www.
No, you shouldn't. You can try it, but you shouldn't. Let's do this. Maybe they changed it so you don't need the star anymore. Yeah, that's it.
I don't
Forget
like
the star.
that either.
No star.
Forget
Okay.
forget the star. So the last time I did this, I was putting a star in there and it was working. So they must
Okay.
have. Sorry about that. I
Right.
didn't know that.
Cool.
All right, so you don't need the star when you're entering blacklist
Okay.
information in there. So what am I doing? I'm going to give everybody that file. Is what I'm trying to do. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the chat. This is just an expanded block list. You can go through it and look at all the different stuff that you can block and make your own decisions on that. I honestly haven't added anything to mine just because I didn't feel like digging through that stuff. I think what it's doing right now is pretty good for me. So moving on, you can create groups. You know, this is just your normal SecOps kind of stuff. You can make your identities. You can set up more accounts than admin if you want other people to be able to log into this. You can only log into this from your local network unless you set up a VPN connection. That's a topic for an entire another discussion. So for instance, if I go and I stay at a hotel somewhere and I try to get to this, I'm not going to be able to unless I have a VPN connection to my home network. But on your home network, you'll be able to get to this from any device. So you can set up certain clients can only access this. You can set up groups and users only have certain access to this web portal. And you can like block your ad list so nobody can edit them and stuff like that. So if you click down in tools, it takes you to PiHole diagnosis. So this is if you're running into any issues. Everything's going to be logged here. You'll see any alerts or any, I don't know when any of the messages are. I've never seen anything populated in here, but if there are any, they'll be here. You can go to update Gravity, which Gravity is just the name of this web portal. If you hit update, it's going to check for updates for this web portal. It's pretty quick. There are none right now. So it's going to run through this update thing very quickly. And it'll do that itself, but it should update by itself unless you go into the settings and change that. So it doesn't. That's up to you. I just left mine on automatic updates. You can go in here to the query list, which right now is not going to show anything because we don't have any traffic running through it. And it's just going to show you can search through a list of all of your block domains. So right here, you can search by partial match or by exact match if you know what you're looking for. Next one, you can view audit logs. These are the tail logs. You can look at the debug log, and then you can look at the network settings for this specific device here, which right now you're really not going to see. These are all the devices on my network right now. It's showing all the devices that are currently going to push DNS traffic through this Raspberry Pi. So, I can tell you like, here's my Roku. That's my TV. It's going to be through there. Here's the Raspberry Pi itself. Here's my MacBook that I'm on right now. So you can just kind of see what's on your network and what's actively going to be pushing DNS traffic through there once you get that set up. So real quick into the settings. What I did here, the one specific thing, let me see if I can even remember where it's at, to be honest. I don't really touch any of this stuff. If you want to, you can disable, like, remember when we set up the query logging that here, you can disable that. You can restart the system, power it off. You can flush logs for 24 hours. You can go into the ad list settings in here. You can come in here and look at this DNS stuff. So this is where you're going to change your DNS. So you can see right here, I have it set up for Cloudflare. If you want to change that to Google or make your own custom upstream over here, you can do that. This is where you're going to change these settings. So that somebody had a question about that earlier. So this is what the page that you do this on. Don't worry about DHCP. We're not using this as a DHCP server. I don't even know what's on this setting page. Oh, this is for,
John.
yeah, what's, yeah,
Go back to the DHCP, or wait, was it that one? Yeah.
DNS.
Scroll down. No, I know we did the upstream Cloudflare, but I don't remember doing the downstream Cloudflare.
There is no downstream. The PiHole is the downstream.
Oh, the plot. Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So the upstream is just for that initial connection for DNS traffic. So
Okay.
anything that's leaving our Raspberry Pi is not being tracked because it's coming from us going out to the web into those DNS servers. So I chose
Okay.
Cloudflare. When
Got
it
it.
comes back, it's going to be routed through the Raspberry Pi instead of through whatever device you're using,
Okay.
or through your router. I guess I should say through your router.
Okay. Got it.
Other than that, there's some privacy settings, which again, I believe Glenn had the question earlier about being able to change whether it wanted to show and record everything, which is just going to be for logs on this specific Raspberry Pi device. I leave mine on that. You can do whatever you want. If you don't care about looking at that stuff, more power to you. Hit anonymous mode, and it pretty much turns off everything but the statistics. And then I don't actually know what teleporter is. I never saw this on. Okay, it's backup. Okay, so you can create backups and restore points for the settings on this device. You can do that on this page, and that's pretty much it.
Two things. You're going to show us how to get the VNC client on the Pi side.
Yes, I can do that.
And then we also you were going to tell us what PiHole app you're using on your iPhone.
Correct. Thank you.
As well.
So on my iPhone, I'm using it's called PiHole Remote. I know nobody can see that. It's called PiHole Remote. It looks pretty much just like it does. Gosh, give me 1 second. My background's on.
Is that the one you recommend?
It looks pretty much just like it does on the web. I know it's a little bright.
I think
There's a
you showed
screen
us
there.
once before.
Yeah, it's got all the statistics right here. If I go down and it'll populate up here, the temperature and everything like that. Now it's not doing that right now because this is for my house in Cleveland and I'm not there, but it would normally do that. You can go look at your statistics on this app. There's query log lists and there's settings on here too. I'm not sure if this is also available for Android, but I do know that there are other PiHole apps on Android.
Okay.
So,
because I know Harry and Mark have Android. So
yeah, there are PiHole apps. I think Mark found one when I did this a couple months ago.
okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now on my phone.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So that's for the app. Now, what about the VNC client?
Yeah. So I don't want to log. Let me stop sharing here. I don't want to log back into my phone just to show that because it'll kick me off. But here's what I do. So if you're on the
that app on the phone is just another way of getting at it. If you have other computers in your house, you can use them.
Yep. Yeah, it's just another method to check it out. Yeah.
I can't see the phone screen. Do it.
Okay.
So to get VNC on your Raspberry Pi, what you're going to do is I'm not going to show this. I'm just going to walk through it real quick because it's easy. Just go up to the top left-hand corner and hit the Pi icon, the Raspberry icon. Yep. Go down to preferences. Recommended software.
Recommended software. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Updating package data. Please wait. Yep.
Now yours is going to be a lot quicker than mine, but you're going to see VNC on that list.
Will it say VNC client?
It's going to say.
VNC.
It should say VNC.
Back up a second, John. You said go down and hit preferences and then what?
Recommended software.
I don't have that.
VNC viewer is already on mine.
That's the viewer. Is that what we want, John?
You want
Is that the same as client or no?
Mine says VNC Connect. Well, it says VNC Server, VNC Connect.
VNC server.
Yeah, Harry, I didn't forget about you. Hold on.
I wonder if you could just go to add remove software. No. You see add
This-
remove software, Harry,
Yeah, that one I see.
but you don't
Okay.
see recommended software. Is that what you said?
I only have 6 options there. I have add remove software, appearance settings, audio device settings, keyboard and mouse, main menu editor, and Raspberry Pi configuration.
It's
Yeah, I
in
have-
there under a different name.
So if you go, well, let me see if I can find it and add and remove software. It's searching for VNC right now.
Oh, wait, the VNC viewer, John, it says VNC viewer is remote desktop client allowing you to control other computers from your, from your Pi. We don't want to, we want to go the other way, right?
You need the server.
Yeah,
We want to go the other way.
yeah, it might show up as VNC Server. That's because mine says VNC Connect and VNC Server.
Is this to control it from the phone?
Yeah, this is to control it remotely from another client.
I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Well, if you wanted to remote into it instead of having a monitor hooked up is what that would allow,
Okay, I
Harry.
see what you mean now, yeah. Okay,
Harry,
So-
if you
Right.
if you go to Google and you type it in, you can download the package and install it, or you can use AnyDesk will install on here too, and you can use that. It doesn't have to just be VNC.
Yeah, that's true. You could use any desk, I guess.
okay, not quite sure I followed that. Maybe you could put it in the chat, let me read it or something.
So what's the name of the program? VNC?
I think it was called VNC client, I thought.
Oh, I got client already. Oh, client. Would that be hyphenated?
I'm not sure about that. Wait. I don't think we're gonna find it in recommended software. I think we're gonna have to go to.
Well, that's where I found it.
What?
It was right in there. It's not showing up for me because I already have it installed.
Well, then I wonder if mine's
Down-
installed too, because it's not coming up for me either.
If you go down, yeah, if it might already be installed. Do you have it up in your toolbar running? Because mine's like up in the toolbar.
At the top, you mean?
Yes.
I went to the terminal and typed in VNC, tab, and you see them all, VNCs.
The only thing I have VNC that's
Server is,
installed is the viewer. And that's not what we want.
VNC, if you go to your terminal and type in VNC and then hit tab, you'll see all the VNC stuff.
Okay, so type in VNC,
Hit
tab. Okay,
You got them all.
okay.
Oh yeah.
I see a whole bunch of them.
So I have VNC server and VNC server UI. I'm assuming that's what's running.
Hey, John, that link you sent, is that
All be there.
supposed to download that on the Pi?
Harry, that's the AnyDesk client for the Raspberry Pi if you chose to use that instead.
Okay. Just wondering where I was typing it in.
Yeah, so you'll download that on the Pi, but you'll also have to download it and run it on whatever you're trying to connect with to the Pi. I think there's a thin client that you can run that you don't have to install for other devices, though. It's just like a portable.
I started the fan on my Pi. It went down from 51 to 34.
There you go.
I don't have a fan on mine.
Yeah, my wireless doesn't have, the one I'm using right now doesn't either.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because when I typed in the when I typed VNC tab, I got like there's VNC server, VNC server UI, VNC server virtual, VNC server X11, VNC server X11 core, VNC server X11 service, and then VNC viewer.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether. And now, when you do that, Glenn, is that saying that all that stuff's installed?
All that stuff is there.
Well, I don't know where the
That's-
server is then, because
That's one way.
when
to
I
find
go
out.
when I click on the Raspberry Pi in the upper left there, I'm not seeing anything that says this there's a server installed, that there VNC server is installed. Unless I'm missing something, I don't.
Says that page isn't there, John. It says it's been ripped. In German, no less.
And what?
You mean the AnyDesk?
Yeah,
I'm on it right now.
If you go to that same place, let me go here again.
oh,
Raspberry Pi preferences, Raspberry Pi configuration. And you got system, display, interfaces, performance, and localization on the top. The center is interfaces. If you click on that, you'll see that you can enable a VNC.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, he's right.
So it's automatically installed, right?
Yeah. Yep.
If you enable it, it's got to be installed.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. Like Glenn said, go to the Raspberry Pi icon, down the preferences, and then hit Raspberry Pi configuration. The middle tab says interfaces. There's a thing there for VNC that says enable or disable. I forgot about that.
I got SSH enabled also.
Yeah. Yep.
So Raspberry Pi configuration. And where do you go?
The middle box on that box. Across the top.
interfaces.
Oh, interfaces. There we go. Okay, so just hit enable then.
Enable or disable VNC. Once you enable it, it should have both of them on it, shouldn't it?
Okay.
Yes.
What about serial? That's the one enabled on mine. Do I want that enabled?
Serial, I don't know.
I have serial port and serial console. They're both disabled.
So
Disabled.
you're saying you should see that on the Pi that it's there? Because
Yeah, it's on the Raspberry Pi configuration. So you want VNC is the only one you want enabled?
I have VNC, SSH, and SP and SPI enabled.
That's the serial port interface. On my other one, I had to enable SSH and the camera in order to access the camera.
so what do we want enabled? Do we want more
What you
than
want
one?
right now is VNC for sure. I would enable SSH, then you can SSH into it from any computer on your network. You can SSH into this thing and do anything.
Okay, but you're saying, should I see something on the Pi interface that says that the VNC client is,
You might have to restart it, John.
okay, because I'm still seeing VNC viewer there, so.
Yeah, mine at the top has a little up in the top toolbar next to the clock on the left-hand side next to my Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Oh, wait, okay, now I see it. There we go. I didn't see that.
Mine says
Okay.
it wants to reboot.
Now it says VNC server, VNC connect.
Yep, that's it.
Okay,
But you will only need the VNC client if you're using the Pi. You don't need to see it on the Pi if you're going in from somewhere else.
right, that's what that's what I want to do. I want to be able to just keep the Pi on and then remote in without having a monitor.
Yeah, the server is up there.
Okay, cool. I see it now. I didn't see that up in the upper.
I never even looked there. I just turned it on and then updated it.
Yeah, now I see it up in the upper right. Got it.
Harry, where are you at?
I had to reboot. I was,
Okay.
It's coming up eventually here.
Okay, now that,
Yeah, I got my screen back. What am I looking for now?
So you were already in configuration and enabled VNC?
Yeah,
Now up in your toolbar at the top,
uh-huh.
up next to the time and all those icons, you have a VNC
Oh,
icon up
yeah,
there.
yeah, little square one. Yep.
Okay, if you click on it, it gives you the information that you need to set it up so that you can access it from other computers.
Okay.
so that'll,
Your IP.
when you reboot, like if if the Pi gets turned off, that VNC will stay.
Yeah.
It'll stay on whenever it comes back up.
Yes, everything should
Okay.
stay once you put it on.
Okay.
Yep. And I did test it from the VNC client that I have on my phone, the app, VNC app on my iPhone, and I was able to connect to it yesterday. So I know it works.
A quick question. I see you've got IPv6 enabled on yours. Is there much of a problem to turn that on?
In the interface, or where are you talking?
Hi. I think you
No,
had the-
You're gonna, the DNS is gonna be using IPv4, so IPv6 isn't gonna matter in this instance. Other than that, I mean, that's all I got.
I was gonna download the AnyDesk just as a backup.
Yeah, Harry, I put that in there for you, but anybody can. It's the installation file for AnyDesk if you choose to use that or VNC.
Thank you.
Keep.
I just now finished installing PiHole.
Yes, we're there. All right, everyone rewind about 40 minutes. We're starting over.
What?
Well, he's gonna have to do it again when he gets home. So he's gonna know this better than I do. I've done it twice now. He'll have done it twice. So you're going the next time, Mark.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna
All we
shut
gotta do
this
is
thing down.
figure out how to get into our gateway and change the DNS there.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to find out what your router's IP address is.
I'm running right out of the T-Mobile gateway.
Yeah.
Uh,
I actually let me do a little research here. T-Mobile gateway IP address. Nobody knows off the top of their head.
You may have to call T-Mobile.
Try this, Harry. I'm gonna put it in the chat so I just don't have to read the IP address out to you, but copy and paste this into your browser and see if it takes you to the login page for your router. It's in the chat.
Okay. Okay, I gotta switch screens here. Hang on with me.
Yeah.
Well, they have that AnyDesk for like every platform.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
It's zippy too. I use it as much as I can.
Okay, it took me in there.
I just installed AnyDesk, so. it's
Cool.
good.
So do you know your login information to sign into the router as an admin?
Yeah, I'm just not seeing a way to do it yet. Okay. 3 keywords here. This is getting old.
I gotta go to my router now. Log in. DNS. And it says obtain DNS information automatically. Well, I want to manually, right?
Correct. And then you're just going to change the first entry, not the secondary one.
Now, I'm on the Bell Home Hub, okay? When I when I hit manually, it says change. It asks for the serial number of the modem.
Oh,
You'd have to
that's-
flip it over and look at
Yeah,
the
it should be on like a sticker on the bottom or back. maybe?
bottom or
The
back.
modem's way downstairs, but I got the card here.
Okay, then.
But I'm surprised, or I'm just wondering if everybody has to do that.
So when I have Spectrum in Cleveland, and when I did it, I did not have to do that.
All right.
Looks like Mark's tying a noose for himself over there. I don't blame him.
What was that?
I said, looks like you're tying a noose over there from listening to me talk all this long.
You should hear the karaoke in the other room.
I can't hear it at all.
You're
So
lucky.
the only thing left to do is log into your router, change the primary DNS to the IP address that we copied down,
The static IP address of the Raspberry Pi. Yep.
right? And then just reboot the router.
Reboot the router and it should take.
Should take.
Now mine, when I put the primary DNS in as the Raspberry Pi and don't fill in the secondary, it comes up with an error.
Now,
Is there-
you want to
is-
leave it. Go ahead.
What's in your secondary? Is it just
It is
empty?
empty when I hit manually put them in.
Okay. Put for your secondary one, put 1111. 1.1.1.1. Yeah. Sorry.
That's Cloudflare, right?
That's Cloudflare. Yeah.
That's easy to put in. Now it's got host name. What should I change there? It's got my network, comma, Monrezo, comma, home.
Is that you? No.
My network is a drive on my network, but the rest of it, I have no clue.
Oh,
Yeah,
See if it'll take it with that.
can you? I don't
I
want you
can,
to.
I can make him a cook. Well,
Well, I don't want him to
I-
share his network information.
yeah. Well, we're not going to do anything.
I'm gonna see if it'll take it with those names in the host name. I'm gonna see if it'll
Yeah,
take
so-
it with it in.
When I did this and every
It's
instruction
okay.
thing, okay, everything that I watched, I never touched. The only thing I touched was DNS, and like for you, we changed the secondary, which was fine. It's optional anyways. But you
Yeah.
should be working.
DNS don't matter as long as
Right.
if it's automatic, it don't matter what's in there.
Right. So do you have to restart your router now, or did it just take?
Settings were saved, close. This is the Home Hub 1000 in Bell, Canada.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything about resetting.
I don't think any of us have Bell Canada, but
No, no, really. I'm just wondering if you get any more up this way, then you got an idea.
yeah.
I love it.
So go to the web portal for the PiHole and see if it's now picking up anything.
Traffic.
You may still have to restart. That's weird that you don't have to restart.
Well, maybe it just doesn't. Hey, Joe, when you did yours, did it tell you, hey, you need to restart for these?
Yeah,
settings?
well, it popped up. Yeah, it did. It popped up and it said like you have to restart for these settings to take effect.
Okay.
But maybe I don't know. Each router is built. There's
Yeah,
so
they're
many
all-
of them.
Yeah, they may not have built that into their.
That depends who made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine hasn't been reset for a couple of years or more.
Wow, you got good service.
No, I got a UPS on my modem router, so I keep the same IP.
Okay.
Then I can access home.
Yeah.
That's a lot cheaper than buying an IP number.
That's true.
Hey, John?
Yeah.
I am logged into the gateway and I finally found a screen that shows me my IP address, but I sure don't see any way that lets me change it.
Do you IP address or DNS? We're looking for DNS.
Oh, I don't see
Which is-
DNS listed anywhere.
Do you see like network settings or DHCP settings or something like that?
Each router has to have those.
There should be some kind of like a network setting or DHCP settings or something like that somewhere. I'm not familiar with the T-Mobile.
Mine
Gate-
was listed under modem settings rather than network settings.
Okay.
You want to, well, I was gonna say, you want
I
to,
don't see modem here either.
would it be okay to share screen or no? So we could help you? It's up to you.
Harry, alternatively, if you want to, you can screenshot and just send it to me.
Well, there's like 6 or 7 screens here, so I don't know which is the one we're trying to find.
It's whatever you feel comfortable. If you want to, it's up to you. But there is network
Wanna-
info on there.
If you want me to share it, I can if you,
I'll have to make, let me make you co-host. Okay, go ahead.
Everyone take a pledge that we're not going to hack Harry.
Everybody close their eyes and let John and Harry look at it.
hey, I gotta figure, I've never shared screen before, so how do I do it?
Down to the bottom there, you should see a green,
Mark's taking pictures.
I'll share screen, okay, I see it.
hit share screen and hit the one that's highlighted in the far left of that window.
Screen 1, okay,
Yep, and then go down, hit share on the bottom left or bottom right.
okay. Now, can you see T-Mobile?
I see pictures.
We see pictures.
How about now?
I think you shared.
You may have shared the wrong, go hit stop sharing at the top of the screen, Harry.
Do you have more than one screen, Harry?
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah, you shared the wrong screen.
You got to share screen 1, yeah.
I did share screen.
Oh,
1.
then maybe it's screen 2 then.
Oh,
Try screen 2.
I'm not seeing where oh, it's okay, screen share, okay, it is the wrong one.
John, can you stop the recording?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. We basically done?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean for this? I can pause it.